Nigel, David asks, what's the minimum amount of MPs we would need to create maximum effect?
Well, who's to say? That depends on the numbers. I mean, what you can say is that for the last 2 years, the DUP, with 10 seats, actually held the balance of power in Westminster and had, you know, had really influence way above their size. None of us know how the mathematics of this next Parliament are going to cut. What I do know is if we don't have the Brexit Party voice in that Parliament, Brexit, once again, will be sold down the river by the Conservatives. They did it under Mrs May, they'll do it again. We have got to prevent that, and that's the incentive for people to go out and lend us their votes. Whether they're Labour or Conservative, lend us their votes. You know, Boris with a majority will give us a form of Brexit that I fear, if he doesn't stick to those promises, would be Brexit in name only. We want a proper Brexit. We want to be free. We genuinely believe this country will do so much better once we're in control.
Margaret asked the question, which I think a lot of people around here will be asking, how can we prevent the misuse of postal votes?
Well, I mean, you know, postal voting used to be, if you worked overseas or you were 94 and infirm, you applied for a postal vote, you gave a reason for wanting a postal vote, and that postal vote was granted. Postal voting used to account for 2 to 3% of the turnout in an election. In some of the by-elections recently, one not too far from here, the postal vote turnout was nearer 30%. And, you know, I have physically watched in a northern constituency, in a by-election, I have watched the postman delivering postal votes through doors, and I've also watched a party canvasser following the postman down the street and knocking on the door a few minutes after the postal vote has landed and saying to Mrs. Smith, who's 91, I've come to collect your postal vote. It is open to intimidation, it is open to fraud, it is open to abuse, and we've seen case after case all over this country of abuse of this system. I suggest the way we stop it, getting back to the question, Michael, let's completely scrap the current postal voting register and start again, and people need to give a reason why they want a postal vote.
And a final question from another David, which is quite an open-ended question. When are they going to do Brexit, Nigel? Do we know? Have we got a date?
Well, getting Brexit done, of course, you know, I mean, that is quite clever, isn't it? Boris's slogan's quite clever. Let's get Brexit done, because we all want Brexit done. And it's interesting to see how many people who voted Remain now say, you know what? We're Democrats. Let's just get this done. Let's deliver on the will of the people. But if we finish up with a Brexit, where we go into 3 more years of negotiations, if we finish up with a Brexit, where everything from financial services to fisheries will be tied to EU rules, if we finish up with a Brexit, where our state aid rules will be such that we couldn't even help British Steel or any other company, if we finish up so aligned that we can't sign trade deals with the USA or any other Commonwealth country, then it won't be Brexit, will it? It'll be Brexit in name only. And yet, given how firm public opinion is on our side, and isn't it great to see that the People's Vote campaign, the campaign for a second referendum, is on the verge of closure. I'm very, very pleased about that. You know, we are so close in many ways now. We have shifted the centre of gravity of this debate. The Brexit Party reset the whole thing in the European elections earlier on this year. We are in many ways so close to getting something that really does resemble Brexit. So I'm still buoyed with optimism, but as I've seen through 25 years, you know, Jimmy Goldsmith's referendum party made the Tories promise not to join the euro without a referendum. UKIP forced Cameron into offering a referendum that he never wanted to give. And without outside pressure, the Conservatives will never do this job properly. And it's the Brexit Party's job to finish this off and to see that we become an independent, self-governing nation.
So, there really is only one question, folks. Are you ready to help us change politics for good? Yeah. Up on your feet, let's get the boards up. There you go. Let's see him, come on. Don't be shy. Great stuff. Thank you so much for coming. And fantastic stuff. We're going to change politics for good. It's great to see you here today. Let's get it done. Very good. Good stuff. Cheers. Thank you.